Aloha, everyone. Aloha. Aloha, welcome. Hopefully y'all can hear me okay. It is raining here. It is raining pretty hard. And, it sounds really nice on my end, but it's a little intense. Okay, I'm trying to do too many things at once. Let me put my incense stick down. Move my computer. So many things on this table, y'all. So many things. It's all the necessary things. So it's good stuff. Y'all, welcome. Aloha, friends of love and light. Welcome to day 17 of the 40 days of Reiki in honor of Jesucristo, Jesus Christ, in this Lenten season where he was making a very trying journey back in the day, preparing for the end of his human life. This is a very sacred time of year, and I was inspired this Lenten season to actually celebrate the Lenten season by doing this Reiki offering. And I will answer questions a little bit later, but I see your question, Laura, powered by plants. I appreciate you. I use incense all the dang time for everything. That'll be my answer right there. So this is the 40 days of Reiki. My intention is to educate, inspire, inform, and intrigue you about Reiki as a tool for healing in mind, body, soul, and spirit, as well as a tool for spiritual awakening, or if you choose, a spiritual path, which is how it is for me. It's all of the above, but depending on the person, it can be one part or another part, or some parts, all the things. Reiki is personal. It really is personal. And I find that the number one thing Reiki has done for me is it's restored my direct connection to the divine, my divine as I understand the divine. And it helps me understand my understanding of the divine, like really clearly and in a beautiful experiential way. So that's what we're doing here every day live on Instagram. I put it on my YouTube channel, Taylor A. Norris, so if you miss one, you can go back and watch there. It's also on my IGTV at Joyful Raw Life. And a couple announcements. I'm offering a free video mini course, The Best Kept Secrets of Radiant Health and Spiritual Awakening. Basically, I'm teaching the foundation of everything that I've learned as I've had to negotiate being like a super sensitive human being who wants to be healthy and spiritually awake, right? I, with the help of my guides, have developed this system and this like formula, this path, this organization of how it all fits together. And that's what I'm teaching in the mini course, and that will be a full course eventually too, where we go real deep into everything. As far as Reiki is concerned, I will be teaching Reiki 1 and 2 online in May. You can do it anywhere in the world. It is live, so you'll be showing up live on Zoom. I'll be showing up live on Zoom. It's awesome. I came to appreciate just how powerful distant Reiki is. And it's almost like you learn how to do the Reiki the hard way first, so that when you're actually in person or you're doing it on yourself, it's really easy and different. Distant Reiki and in-person Reiki, both very juicy, awesome, beautiful experiences, kind of different flavors, vanilla, chocolate, both incredible. Mix them together, that's real good. So I'm teaching that in May. You can get on the wait list for that course. Both of those links will be in the bio or in the description if you're watching this on YouTube later on. All right. And Reiki 1 and 2, that's appropriate if you don't even know what Reiki is. You're a complete beginner. And it's appropriate and you're welcome if you're advanced and you've done a master training and all of that. I've repeated Reiki 1 and 2. Each time I take it, I get different things. Each different teacher I take it with, different things. It's really good stuff. So with all that logistical stuff being said, let us get into the Reiki invocation. And this is a guided meditation that calls in and empowers the Reiki energy. It fills this whole like sacred space we got going on between you and me and the airwaves and everyone who's here. It fills that space with Reiki. So if you want to receive some energy, some Reiki energy, you will receive it. If you're not so sure about it, guess what? It's gonna like force itself on you. So don't worry about it. And if y'all could just go ahead and close your eyes, take some deep breaths, turn your awareness inward. Look over everything you were doing before this moment in time. Tune into your breath, into your body. Place your hands comfortably on your body. The light of Reiki fills the air that you breathe. Your breath fills your body with the light. As you breathe in the light within you wakes up. The light within you is revealed. The power of divine love fills your breath and is revealed at the core of your being. The power of the divine mind fills your breath and is revealed at the core of your consciousness. The power of the divine heart fills your breath and is revealed in the light of your heart. The power of the divine earth fills your breath and is revealed in your body. The power of God fills your breath, and the power of God is revealed in you. The power of your Holy Spirit is revealed within you. Look inside and say thank you to you. Appreciate you and how deeply you love. Together we say thank you to the divine ones who join us. We invite your divine guidance, healing, and empowerment. Aho, amen, namaste, and so it is. Thank you. As a child of God, I claim my power and purpose as a servant of God. I demand that all darkness leave me and all who are watching immediately. I ask that Archangel Michael place me and all who are watching in his blue bubble of protection against all darkness. Whoa. You need to get home to join this. Yeah, Richard, if you're in the car, bro, like, these are deep. I shared a story about me listening to Reiki invocations in the car when road tripping, and like, it's not a good idea. Get a little high. But yeah, the replay will be on IGTV and YouTube. Yo, when I was saying that, when we're doing that, at the end I was feeling like very strong, like pulsating energy. I mean, it's good every day, but yeah, we're in a good container here, guys and gals, everybody. So y'all are welcome. I invite y'all to, drop any questions, comments, impressions, what have you, in the chat at any time. This can be interactive. I have lots of things I can always talk about. Like, my guides are supplying me downloads all the time. The more I shared, the more I received. So y'all's questions are welcome. I will touch back on that incense question just because incense is such a big part of my life. Such a big part of my life. Okay? Y'all want to see this? Y'all want to see the situation here? This is a Now brand sprouting jar that has been repurposed as my incense holder. Okay? There are 5 packs of 50. This is my favorite brand right now, okay? I found it at the health food store here in Hawaii. I've tried every scent. They're all winners. This company makes smaller packs too of different scents, but I was really drawn to all of these, and obviously. And yeah, I started with the rock rose, and I was like, this is the best incense of my life. Went back, I got white sage, phenomenal. They're out of it now. And then I went back and I was like, I'm getting one of each. So highly recommend Maroma incense. It's Maroma Sama incense, and all the different kinds are just brilliant. You know, I'd never seen it before until recently, and I'm so glad I got it. It's amazing. But really, y'all, like, if I'm home, there's incense burning. Okay? Like, it's pretty much 24/7 going. Granted, I live in Hawaii. My windows are open all the time. So, and there's no AC, there's no heat, there's no artificial air going on here. So I think I'm in a unique position where, you know, I'm not like hotboxing an apartment or something, right, with no airflow. Like, the airflow's good here. And for me, it keeps the energy really clear. It keeps the scents really nice too, because where I'm staying, it's, you know, it's an older place. It probably would smell kind of like mildewy if I didn't have stuff burning all the time. And this really, it keeps the scent high vibe. It keeps it fresh. It keeps the energy good. Yeah, Naga likes it. She's on my lap. Y'all, she hasn't been joining us lately, but she's back. And I shared about how I used Reiki to heal her, and she's like, yeah, I'm good now. She's good now. But what I do with the incense is, you know, it can be completely passive, right? Where it's just burning and that's it. Or what I also do when y'all come, you notice, and I start the lives and I'm drawing things, I'm drawing Reiki symbols with the incense. And it's kind of like a magic wand, okay? So, like, get your little, like, inner witch and wizard Harry Potter on, and you can use it like a wand, and it's fun. It's very, very fun. So I will use it, yeah, to like charge up the space before a Reiki live stream, for example. I will go in every corner of my space walking through my home, and I'll draw the Reiki symbols using the incense, which is like extra. I could just draw the Reiki symbols with my fingers or my hands, but this is, it's fire. I mean, come on, right? Next level. A little bit of that fire element, and that's very useful and balancing here too. If you're in a place, if you're in a location where the fire element is kind of low, you're burning incense, you're working with incense, that's one way to introduce more of that fire element without just, you know, gorging on hot chilies all the time or something, or, you know, having like a nice fireplace, right? This is one way to introduce the fire element. Now, I'm on Hawaii, it's raining, there's lots of water here. Water and earth tend to be like the dominant energies here. The air is freaking stellar, the ether is powerful, is potent, and one could say actually, you know, the fire element is very much present because where I live on the Big Island, it's 5 volcanoes. The whole island is volcanoes. It's 5 different volcanoes, 2 of which are still active, one of which is like super active right now. She's been like filling up with a lava lake. Like, there's molten lava being dumped into this lake. It's all contained in a crater, so no worries. No one's needing to evacuate. But the fire energy of the Pele goddess, who is like the protector and the energy of the volcano, that is very much present here. And in the district of the Big Island where I stay, it's like very potent too, because it's all lava rock. It's all literally new earth where I stay. And that can be a hard energy for people to work with too. Like, it's hard to put roots down in lava rock, literally, if you're growing trees, but also more that metaphorically level, it can be hard to do that. So the way I see it, I'm just here as a guest right now. As long as I'm welcome to stay, I will stay. And relating in that way is serving me well. So, other uses for incense. All right, I got a cat. She has a litter box. She poops inside in the litter box, right? And after she poops, I immediately clean it out, but then I'm sticking the incense over her litter box to like smudge that area and kill that scent, and it instantaneously does that. This is a great thing to use also too if you're using the bathroom. If you're doing an enema, right? Make it a ceremony. Don't make it like this, oh, it's an enema, I gotta do it and it's gonna suck and I'm gonna hate every moment of it. Light some incense, have some nice smell going in, help clear out everything that's clearing out of you. What else? I would have this stuff going in my car if I could, honestly, y'all. One of my friends actually, she's the only person I have seen, and she did have incense going in her car. It was like an older vehicle, and I was like, that is awesome. I feel like somehow that would go wrong and I would end up burning things, so I don't do that. But yeah, those are some of the uses of incense that I use. It's definitely nice to light it during yoga. I think that was my first introduction to incense, was actually taking a yoga class in one of the yoga studios. They lit it, and I was like, what does that smell? And that's the thing, y'all. Okay, incense is very powerful. To be used during yoga, to be used during meditation. Obviously, I didn't mention that one, but hello, meditation, prayer, because it smells the olfactory bulb, the way it's actually situated in the brain. Like, I'm not just saying this from like a spiritual perspective, like literally in the brain. Yes, I will add that Maroma incense, and it's Sama incense. All scents, you can't go wrong. You know, whatever you like. The lavender, y'all, is really good. Mountain lavender, it's the best lavender I've ever experienced. But yeah, so the way the brain works, the olfactory bulb, which controls your smell, it's in the brain. It's like in the midbrain. It's connected to memory. It's right by the hippocampus, which is in charge of memory. And so smells directly in your physiology, in your biology, have a way of activating memory. Okay, literally. So when you're being all, spiritual or whatever, and you're burning incense, you're sitting in meditation, the incense can help you remember. It can help you remember who you are. It can instigate, past life recall. It's done that for me for sure. I remember when I was doing my yoga training in India, we were burning a specific kind of incense every single morning, and that was definitely giving me a lot of past life recall. And then when I traveled somewhere else, they gave me some of the same incense to take with me, and that I would burn, and that would help me drop into that similar peaceful space that I was able to access in the ashram. Okay, so it can be helpful in that way too. It activates you to just drop in, and like it's almost like a time travel type thing, space travel, where you're in that space again. You're in that space again, even though after India, I'd gone back to Thailand, but when I burned that incense and I was meditating, doing yoga, I was in the ashram in India. This is how it works for me. Same thing happened when I went to the monastery in Nova Scotia. They use specific kinds of incense in Shambhala Buddhism. They were the incense without the stick, without the bamboo, where the whole thing burns. And those can be really nice too. And so I went to the monastery. I was there for 6 weeks as a volunteer, and then I went to a meditation center, still in the Shambhala Buddhist tradition. And I took some of the monastery incense with me. And when I was burning it at the meditation center, I was back at the monastery, even though I was at the meditation center. So again, with the space-time travel, it really can help you do that. And yeah, and activate those memories, remembering who you are, remembering past lives where, yeah, you were a yogi. You're a yogi in a cave, or you were a nun, or you lived in an ashram, or you were the teacher at the ashram, you're the student at the ashram. I was remembering past lives being Buddhist monk, being Buddhist, monks, nuns, being a woman associated with a monastery and not being able to get ordained too. I remember that. But it's like, it'll help you kind of connect dots that maybe you're not able to connect. And if you want past life regression, if you want that sense of capturing, supporting yourself drop into a space where you can really do a lot of spiritual work, it's extremely supportive, extremely. And it's a way to engage the senses too, pleasantly, right? If your place smells kind of gross, do you think your sense of smell is going to want to continue to be really sharp? Or do you think maybe you're going to try and like mute it down, whether that's consciously or subconsciously, using perfume, using, artificial fragrances, that kind of thing? Whereas if your space and you smell good and you're using like natural products and natural scents and essential oils and incense and lovely things, you're not burning toxic things, you're burning like well-made incense, your sense of smell is going to remain more open. It'll be a more hospitable environment for your sense of smell to stay wide open. I'm going to take a sip of the celery juice. I'm parched. I did yoga right before this. I didn't drink anything. Drop your questions if you have any. Today it's straight celery juice, no coconut water or anything. It's so good. It's so salty and like amazing. So good. Okay. I don't see any questions at this time. So I will just let y'all know, if you tuned in a few days ago, what is incense made of usually? Well, if you buy it at Walmart, it'll have like artificial fragrances and stuff in it. I have bought cheaper incense before, and I could tell a difference. It was like an essential oil versus a perfume where it has artificial fragrances, and it's like kind of like, oh, like it hits wrong. The incense was like that, but this one is made with bamboo stick. So this part in the middle is the bamboo, which you place in your holder, right? And some incense doesn't have the bamboo stick. Is it better or worse? It doesn't matter to me. Unless you're trying not to like buy bamboo, right? That's one thing to be mindful of. This is 100% natural ingredients, bamboo stick, wood powders, matulus macaranth, tree bark powder, a natural binder, natural essential oils, and resins. Mostly it's resins, it's tree bark, it's plant parts processed in the magical way that the incense people know how to do. It's a whole like art form, right? Just like making an essential oil and like distilling all the different plant parts to create that really concentrated oil. Those people are artists. They're, herbalists, medicinal people. Absolutely wonderful service they're doing for humanity. I don't understand the whole process of, incense making. That is not my specialty, but I would love to, witness it and like go on a tour or something. I'm loving your light. Thank you, the Holistic Misfit. I like that handle. I'm definitely a misfit too. I hope this is available in the UK. I bet you can order it online, is my guess. Yeah, look them up online. Yeah. So I wanted to tell y'all though, Naga's cool. My cat who's on my lap. I've been feeding her Reiki instructed substances like the almond oil, and changing her food and doing different things and praying and singing on her food and facilitating like la purga for her, a little purge, a little cleanse, and she's doing really well. Like she's sleeping a lot with me at night and acting herself back on her high vibe level of consciousness. So and I didn't have to take her to the vet. I didn't have to do anything. It was using Reiki to facilitate animal communication and then to get a sense of what was going on, as well as what exactly she needed. What could I put together that would serve her in the moment, and actually giving her energy healing too, which she's really receptive to. She gives it to me right back. She's giving me energy right now. She's like, yeah, I think I'll be a part of the lives. Like it's good vibes, and yeah, it's legit. Okay, yeah, I can be on board with that. All right. Yeah, one thing I also wanted to mention yesterday, we're talking a lot about environmental empath and different sensitivities, and I mentioned that the earth is ascended energy to work with. Like if you're going to work with Jesus or the Buddha or Archangel Michael or Blessed Virgin Mary, earth is another one of those ascended energies you can work with. And we're talking about like earth chakras, and like the Hawaiian Islands are chakras. You know, going from the root, the big island, to the crown. I forget that island at the top, but I think it's the one where only Hawaiian people are allowed to live, and it's like really spiritual and awesome and like very natural still, like not civilized, as not civilized, that's like a weird word. I don't like the connotation, but not as much so-called modern infrastructure. It's civilized in a more traditional way. That's all. It's a more traditional civilization, probably very beautiful and lots of nature. But yeah, I was talking about different vortexes and chakras, and I just wanted to mention that all land is sacred. All land is sacred. All land on planet Earth is sacred. Don't feel like you gotta be in Hawaii or Sedona or like, what's that place in UK where like the stone circle, right? I want to go there. Or like the sacred mountain in Japan, Mount Karama, Stonehenge, or like sacred sites in India, specific sacred mountains and stuff. Like those places are all incredibly sacred and great energy. But wherever you are too is sacred. All land on this earth is sacred. Absolutely sacred. Some you might be able to perceive it more readily because Glastonbury, yes, I want to go there. Some land you might be able to perceive more directly as sacred because it is left more in its natural state, right? Like going to Hawaii, it's like, yeah, there are nice beaches and like there's jungle and a lot of trees and stuff. So, and the people like revere it as sacred, versus if you're in Los Angeles, for instance, right? It's like very, very, very civilized concrete jungle, city, right? And but the land underneath is still sacred. And like, go to the beach. If you're in a city, go to the parks, connect with the land there, connect with any little scrap of land or nature in a city, a tree, you know, hug that tree. The cacti in Arizona and in the desert are absolutely wonderful energies to connect with. Cacti are awesome. Don't even get me started. Laura, powered by plants, love the handle. I sent distant Reiki to my friend today. When I was near the chest, I saw red, like red flowing lava, deep red. She just had back surgery. Yeah, that's intense. That is very intense. It's real, y'all. The distant Reiki is powerful, and you can get really, really good visuals, I find, with the distant Reiki. I feel like the distant Reiki, I don't want to, it's so hard to say these kinds of things. I'm like, it's more activating of your psychic powers. I think it exercises your psychic intuition, your extrasensory ability, you know, your visualization abilities and third eye kind of abilities. I think it exercises them in different ways. It's like a different kind of training, right? So whereas like in person is different. You're still training all those extrasensory muscles really, really well. But yeah, I'm so interested in this topic. I completely absorb my environment. Yeah, we're talking a lot about that yesterday, and I wanted to also mention today, that's one of the questions I'm working with actually in asking Reiki is, as a fellow very sensitive person, I think many of the people who, you know, find me are like, yeah, I'm really sensitive too. What I'm asking Reiki, what did I say? Asking Reiki to help me learn how to keep all my senses wide open and function this way, right? And completely function this way. Because as we talked about yesterday, it's superpowered. You know, it's absolute superpower to be able to have your senses wide open and let them go beyond even the normal capacities of the five senses if you're drawn to do that for the ends of spiritual awakening or facilitating healing in yourself or someone else, or the simple, you know, practicality of like animals, right? So many of us have animals, and it's so difficult when we know they're struggling, and it's like, what do you need? Reiki is a tool that will allow that communication to come through, and that is a different kind of extrasensory organ, so to speak, or muscle that's being exercised. So I'm working with this question with Reiki. That's the thing about Reiki. You can ask the energy, because it's a conscious life force energy. Ask the energy itself questions like this. How do I function with all my senses wide open? Because we have this epidemic in the world. I use that word and I'm like, oh my God, it's so loaded, but that's the one that came out. We have a very big, widespread problem where people are numbing, right? Like they're numbing out their senses because it's too overstimulating. We're so stimulated. Artificial light, artificial smells, Wi-Fi, social media, mainstream media, alternative news media, advertisements all over the place, to the point where it's completely subliminal, and like, the average person is experiencing like thousands of advertisements a day, and like we're not even aware of it because they've gotten like so good at it. We're aware of maybe some of them, but like they're slipping them in all over the place. It's everywhere, and that's a lot to take in. Take that to the next level and start thinking of just the energy on the planet too. Like there's so much energy in any kind of location. There's the fear programming that's being blasted. There's a lot going on, right? And how do we stay with our senses wide open? Because that is a superpower, to be able to do that. And some of the things, like I ask these questions of Reiki, like these really big questions, and I don't expect an answer immediately, but sometimes I do get immediate answers. And y'all, especially when I'm doing my yoga, to my music, and like I've got Reiki activated, the incense is burning, a lot of things come through. So I'm a very physical person. The same thing happens to me when I'm walking especially in the jungle. And it's not like straight jungle, like on a path. It's like an older road, a really bad road to drive on in the jungle, and I'll receive these downloads. There's something special about the movement activating Reiki and being in a more natural environment where the downloads came in. But Reiki immediately was like nature, right? So being able to keep your senses wide open, the more natural your environment can be, the better, and the more you can connect to nature, the more you can ground. Does that mean every little wall in your home has to be made of like mud or stone or stick or, very natural? No, it doesn't. If you can do that, like Richard, I know you got like the yurt going on and you're going real natural and off grid and everything. Like, if you're able to make that happen for yourself, like that's phenomenal. But any way you can connect with nature on a daily basis, spend some time outside, let the fresh air into your home, have plants inside, even having the fruit inside, I'm realizing like that's helpful. Growing any kind of plants inside, whether they're house plants or edible plants, greens, just having flowers inside, bringing the nature in, as well as you going out, is very, very important. Like that is one of our basic fundamental needs, and the nature will help us keep our senses open, because the nature will restore the senses. It'll restore, if your senses are open, you're out in nature, it's gonna just automatically be giving you healing. This is my sense. I was receiving that download yesterday too. I went on a walk in the rain, okay? And I was like, I felt so restored and replenished by all the trees that were around me. I felt so cleansed and restored by just feeling the drops of rain on my skin. Like it was a complete cleansing, healing experience that if my senses weren't as open, I wouldn't have had as much bliss. But those kinds of things will help me keep my senses open. So nature is a great ally, a wonderful ally. Other things that came in is the plant allies, like I mentioned, growing stuff inside, growing stuff outside, if you have a garden, if you have somewhere where you can spend time outside working with plants, that's going to be very therapeutic. I just do it inside and it still like gives me so much. Plants are big allies. The crystals are big allies too for keeping, they're all, always, if your senses are open, going to be giving good energy and like in a positive flow and clearing things out of your space continuously. And that's the thing too, like really make your space wherever you live, whether you're, you have your own house, you're sharing a home with someone, you live at someone else's house, like whatever your living situation is, if you're living in a room or you have an apartment, whatever, make a sanctuary in your space for you. Like try and create a sanctuary for yourself where it's like there are things that remind you who you are. There are things that are nourishing for your senses. It's like you have some nice lights, you have nice sounds, nice smells, nice everything, like nice colors, soothing colors, like this blue, right? This blue is great for me because it's very throat chakra and communication supportive and has been very, very healing. Like paint your walls, create a sanctuary where you know that you can be wide open, right? That is awesome because I know every time I'm at home, it's like I can be wide open and it's cool. So I can leave home, be out in the world, and like experiencing all the kind of stuff and then come back and I'm like, oh, wide open again, wide open. Right. And the more, being in nature too. So even if, you share a home with a lot of people, like carve out like a little nook or a room or a corner of a room that's like just your recharge space where you can be wide open. That's going to be really helpful. Hello, everyone who's coming in. Aloha, welcome. We're talking about how to keep our senses wide open because this is an absolute superpower and we have a massive problem on planet Earth where people are numbing constantly. And like, I get it. It's hard to have, it can be challenging to have senses wide open. This has been the path of my life is figuring out how to function as a sensitive being and not just function, but like actually high functioning and harness the power of my senses for good because they're gifts. It's not a curse. It's not a bad thing. If you're a sensitive person, it's a very good thing. Very, very good thing. So nature is an ally, plant allies, crystal allies, EMF, okay? This is a thing, y'all. This is a thing. Wi-Fi is a thing, 5G, I'm not going to talk too much about that. Trust me. And that's the thing too. Like I want to mention that as well, maybe later on. I went down all the conspiracy theory rabbit holes. Like I know, okay? Like I know. But what I've found that empowers me to do something about it is I have a Wi-Fi router. I have a Wi-Fi connection where I stay. If you're able to have your router like separate from where you spend the most of your time too, like that can be helpful. But for me, it's like I live in a small space. So how do I deal with that? I have an online business, online presence. I need to be online a lot. So during the day, my Wi-Fi's on. During the night, I unplug it. So at least half my time it's unplugged and I'm in my little sanctuary here and I'm not getting that EMF going through. And again, the plants are great allies for that too. When the Wi-Fi is on and when it's not, they will help support, the trees block the G, all right? Like they will not let that pass through you. And very, very good to have around. But very simple thing, you can turn your internet router off at night. Or if you're able to, I'm thinking of where like Tina lives. She's got a studio and then she has a yurt where she sleeps. And, like having like the Wi-Fi just at the studio or just where, you do your work or just at the office and then having where maybe you sleep, your main part of your house, like no Wi-Fi, that can be really good. Shungite, yeah, girl. Elite Noble Shungite. Yes. I just got introduced to shungite. I have a tiny little piece. It's on top of my Wi-Fi router, y'all. It's on top. It's just a little one. I met this adorable young couple in Ecuador. And the guy, it was like the first day I met him, Davis, super sweet dude. He was like, we were talking about stuff, and he was just like, yeah, you know, I feel drawn to give you some shungite right now. And I was like, yes, thank you so much. Oh my God. I think they make protective necklaces too. They were showing me theirs. If they sell them, I need to ask. 'Cause that is you can wear it as a necklace. Shungite. All right, I'll go get it. I go get it real quick because it's, woo! You see that? Oh my God. I'll fix that in a second. But I want to get the crystal because, oh my God, this is a whole thing because I got the microphone on. It's not easy to move around. Naga's now on the floor. But this is what happens when y'all get me started about crystals. It's like, how can I not show and tell? Like, oh shoot, y'all can't hear me. I said, how can I not show and tell? All right, with the crystals, if I have them, like, I'm gonna go and get them. This is shungite. It's very small, like y'all can see the size of my thumb. It's just a little nug, but it's powerful. It's powerful. And yeah, I think having it on, they had done testing, there has been testing done on it where like the EMF is like greatly reduced if say you have this, and I think you can place it on your smartphone or place it on your computer. You want it to be between you and whatever the device is. For me, I was like, I only got one piece, I'm going to use it well, and I just put it right on top of my router. I was like, I just, bang for the buck. This is where it told me to go too. Listen to your crystals, okay? Reiki helps me with that crystal communication. I already had it pretty good before I got Reiki, but then when I got Reiki, it's like next level. You can buy gorgeous pyramids, like the organite pyramids, or is it something different where it's like shungite specific pyramids? I would love to know. I don't have any organite pyramid. It's possible to make an elixir with the small pieces. That is cool. That is very, very cool. And what, like drink it every day or something? But yeah, this is an ally, but also like don't rely too heavily on it too. It's like, it's telling me right now, don't put all your eggs in one basket, friends. Like shut the dang router off at night, okay? Shut the router off at night when you're not using it. It's really, really important, okay? It's so funny how they talk. Okay. Naga, you can come back on my lap. Now my lap's cold. What else? So we got nature, EMF, plant and crystal allies, reducing stimulation where possible. Belinda, if you want to drop in the chat, where did you get the shungite pyramids? If you have a website you really like, and we can share that there. And I would love to look at it because I'm not in the market for crystals per se, but if I had like a pyramid, maybe I could like rationalize getting that. or really like manifesting it into my reality, kind of like the moldavite that Matthew Joseph was mentioning. I was like, I wouldn't mind manifesting some moldavite, but I'm not gonna like go out of my way to get it, just allow it to come on in. So yeah, another way to keep your senses wide open, according to Reiki, is to reduce stimulation wherever possible. Reduce stimulation wherever possible. Streamline and make conscious every input that goes in. Okay? Like we can't turn off everything, right? Like it's too much now. It really is hard. Short of, going on retreat in nature solo. But reducing stimulation where possible, having either not watching TV, for example, but, maybe having like select hours where you'll watch TV and movies only this amount of time every day, or you'll be on social media only this amount of time. For me, it's like I'm creating, I'm like unlimited creative time. Content creation on social media for me is fine. But even being mindful of that, if when I need to take a break and go refresh myself in nature. That's actually like the exact thing that drops in, is you need to refresh yourself in nature, Taylor. Like, this voice comes whenever that's what's needed. So yeah, limiting your social media time, especially the consumption end of it. I appreciate all y'all being here too, because I know y'all are probably more on the mindful social media consumption spectrum. So like, I super appreciate y'all like actually tuning in to me. But whenever you are consuming any kind of social media, any kind of movie, any kind of TV, any kind of anything, being aware of how it's making you feel, being very, very, very aware and present with how it's making you feel. What's it making you feel? Is it making you feel high vibe or lower vibe? Like scared, more love in your heart, like empowered, disempowered? Being very, very aware of this. So yeah, those are the main ways I would say. Reducing that kind of stimulation is going to be, I mean, that's huge for the spiritual awakening piece too. Like, the more I have done that and like really stuck with that, everything has really taken off, and so much more clarity, so much more centered, so much more able to keep my senses wide open and to receive all the wisdom and information that is available when one's senses are wide open. Yeah, so those are some of the ways that Reiki said will help support keeping senses all wide open and functioning this way, but not just functioning, like thriving and harnessing the power of senses being wide open. I will keep inquiring Reiki, because I'm sure there are more ways, and that's the thing. Like, a lot of these I'll ask and like continue to get answers and insights. So there were more things I wanted to talk about. I'll leave y'all with this. So I mentioned in my post, like, we would talk about what to do instead of worrying about the worst case scenario, because I know a lot of people are doing this right now, and I myself fell into that trap when everything started, poop hitting the fan kind of last year about this time, if not a little, yeah, this time last year, poop was hitting the fan, okay? I went down the conspiracy theory rabbit hole. I know the things, I know what people are saying. And that has a certain vibration too, also to it. But instead of imagining the worst case scenario, what to do instead? What about imagining the best case scenario? What about imagining the best case scenario? What about imagining you as your healthiest, most happiest, most fulfilled, most content, most whole self, most true, authentic embodiment of your highest self? What about imagining the exact, like, your life, the life of your dreams, imagining the life of your dreams? What about imagining and visualizing the best possible scenario for you, for your family, for your community, for your state or your province, for your country, for your continent, for all people in the world, all people on planet Earth, all beings on planet Earth, all animals on planet Earth, the planet Earth itself? What about imagining and visualizing, feeling in and dropping into the best case scenario, and holding that vision and giving that vision power? Because when we worry, it's a prayer. But envisioning this best possible scenario, this is visioning. This is holding this vision and making it more possible, more real. Because, okay, even studies show, like, brain scans, you can't tell the difference in the brain between visualizing, like an athlete visualizing, like playing the tennis game, and the athlete actually playing the tennis game, okay? This is in the physiology too. This isn't me just talking spiritual, okay? But it's really important for us right now. Hold the best vision for yourself and your life and your healing and your awakening, and holding the best possible vision for humans, for all beings, for this planet. This is activism we can do right now. It's productive activism, and it'll start making you feel better right now too. Yeah, y'all are welcome. Y'all are so welcome. Thank y'all for coming every day. We will be back tomorrow. Y'all sign up for my Reiki 1 and 2 waitlist if you're interested in joining that course in May online, available anywhere in the world. It's going to be incredible, so healing. And also my free video mini course is another phenomenal support to keeping senses wide open and learning how to function, not just function, but thrive and harness the power of the senses, to heal on so many different levels, to feel more aligned in your life and more awake and alive than you've ever felt before. Because the senses are the key to waking up in a human body, and to, what's the other thing? It came through and then I like stuttered and it laughed. But yeah, the senses are the key to the human body. The key to the human body and waking up in the human body and healing in the human body. They are a connection. It's a special function of why we are in human bodies. So yeah, I love y'all. See y'all tomorrow. Much love to you. Namaste. 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 Shine on, friends. Shine on.